So, the Batman movie. We waited so long for this to come out, ever since August of 2020. God, it's been that long. I've always been wondering when we'd finally see this movie, so I decided to see it twice in theaters. One time, which was the second, I sat next to the worst family imaginable because the mother wouldn't stop snoring and wouldn't turn off her damn Apple Watch. But after I rewatched this on HBO Max, how do I feel about this movie? Well, the story is that it takes place 2 years into Batman's crime-fighting career. However, a Zodiac-like killer known as the Riddler starts killing public figures in Gotham, planning to unmask the corruption in Gotham City, and it's up to Batman to not only stop the Riddler, but also find out what is the corruption in the city. So before we talk about my likes and dislikes, let me talk about minor stuff that I enjoy. Starting off, I love the look of this movie. It is breathtaking to look at. Make sure to watch this on the biggest screen you can. And I also appreciate how there's a lot of practical effects here. I actually didn't know that when Batman was gearing up for the paraglider, that was CG. Well, I obviously knew the close-up of him gliding was CG, but when he was suiting up, I thought that was practical, but nope, the background was all CGI. That's actually impressive. Also, while I did complain about the small CGI, it did lead to this moment. I found myself enjoying the detective and action scenes about equally. My favorite thing about the action is that you can tell this is a younger Batman, someone who acts reckless a lot of the time and relies on brute strength. My favorite detail is when he straight up swings a sniper rifle to bonk someone on the head. I also love the costumes for this movie. The best costume obviously being Batman's. It reminds me of the Arkham Knight suit, and that is my favorite bat suit all across in any media. Catwoman's costume was also nice. I especially like the little cat ears on her mask. Riddler got the most drastic change, but it works for me personally, even if he is...
I'm the trash man!
And I know people have said this about Colin Farrell, but damn, that makeup looks fantastic. You can't even tell that it's Colin Farrell. It straight up looks like the Penguin to me. Also, this is a minor detail, but I love how in the opening with the helicopter, I love how it flashes light on criminals before moving out of the way to reveal the bat signal. It feels like the person flying it is saying, "You're about to get your ass kicked in 7 different ways." Now on to my major pros with the movie. Robert Pattinson does a great job here. Now yes, everyone has praised him, but you know what? I'm gonna praise Robert in this video. My favorite thing about this version of Batman is how obsessed he is with being the Batman. Though it's weird that only the Riddler calls him that, but everyone else just calls him Vengeance. So does that mean in the sequel people are gonna start calling him Hope? I don't know. But still, when it comes to him being obsessed, you can truly see it, how he looks bored being billionaire Bruce Wayne. I also liked how he doesn't really have any gadgets. The most he has is just a Batmobile, a motorcycle, a grappling hook, a parachute, the Batarang, which I actually didn't notice until my second viewing, where he uses it to cut the tape in the Riddler investigation. But my personal favorite gadget is the contact lens he uses, because it makes sense considering how he needs to remember all the stuff he's done since he's a night owl and can barely get any sleep. But then there's his arc. In terms of live-action Batman, this is a close for my favorite Batman arc he goes through in any live-action movie, tied with Dark Knight Rises. Throughout the film, he does crime fighting to honor his family, but when Riddler reveals the stuff his parents did, it actually puts his ideals into questioning, and it's further supported at the attack of the mayor. He finds a Riddler goon calling himself Vengeance, and Batman learns he needs to be a hero, not just beating up bad guys, but also keeping Gotham safe by saving people. And to all the people who say that it's stupid, remember, a superhero can both beat up criminals, but also save people from danger. I mean, look at people like Spider-Man and Daredevil, for crying out loud. Now let's talk about the other characters. Catwoman I thought was really good. This is probably my favorite live-action version of her. I thought she was fun to watch, and her chemistry with Robert Pattinson was great. And the twist of her being Falcone's daughter was surprising to me, since I never read the comics. You also feel for her when her friend goes missing, and she'll do whatever it takes to get her back. Then there's Jim Gordon. While yes, he's no Gary Oldman, I thought Jeffrey Wright did a great job. I especially like how he helps Batman throughout it, to the point where the officers are asking if he's really going to put his career on the line to help him out. But even though Gordon is okay with working with Batman, he isn't afraid of him, even elbowing him against a wall at one point. Then there's the villains. Starting with Carmine Falcone, I'll be honest, this was my major concern, since the only movies I've seen John Turturro in were the live-action Transformers movies. But here, he's actually really good, so maybe I'll check out his other movies. He's not outstanding, but he does a good job with his material. I found it nice that last October I gave Batman The Long Halloween Part 1 and 2 a watch, since they referenced Thomas Wayne saving his life in this movie. And at the end of the movie, I like how even when he could face death in Blackgate, he's still treating Penguin like a joke. And when Batman saves him, he realizes that it's Bruce Wayne. But don't worry, thanks to Riddler, Falcone won't be able to tell the little secret they have. Then there's Penguin, who honestly is a lot of fun. While he's there for comedic relief, he does a great job, especially when Batman and Gordon are interrogating him. It also took me a while, but I love how when they leave him at the scene of the crime, he waddles like an actual penguin. I'm also intrigued to see if in the sequel, with Falcone out of the picture, he'll be able to take over the crime in Gotham, and we'll be able to see more of him. But that just leaves one character left, the main villain of the movie and my personal favorite alongside the Batman, the Riddler. And while yes, I love you, Jim Carrey, you're my main man and I still stand Batman forever, don't question me, but in terms of being threatening and intimidating, Paul Dano's Riddler takes the cake for me. Honestly, he gives my favorite performance in the movie. I actually like how with the Riddler, they draw parallels between him and Bruce Wayne. How he was also an orphan, but points out something we don't really see all that often. If you think about it, Bruce is only an orphan in terms of name, since while yes, he tragically lost his parents, he got to stay in a mansion where if he wanted, he could take a jet to Hawaii for a weekend and relax. I also thought his orgasm face was pretty funny. I also like how he recruits his followers. It's pretty disturbing, but makes sense because he's an Instagram streamer in the movie. No joke, I love how at the end point of the film, he says, "Hey guys, thank you for helping me in my acts of terrorism, it meant a lot to me."
This will be my last post for a little while.
Make sure to donate to my Patreon. I create Vine compilations for the world to see.
I also like the detail of him constantly calling the phone when the DA has a bomb strapped to him so he can live stream. And thank God Batman did not have to collect 1,000,000 Riddler trophies. That would have added 5 extra hours to the movie. Now, I do have one small issue with the movie. That being, I honestly wish we got more scenes with Alfred. Andy Serkis is a great actor, and while he does an excellent job, he's no Michael Caine. I thought they also did a pretty good job of him wanting to support Bruce and not wanting Bruce to be a lonely hermit. I also liked how when it came to figuring out one of the ciphers left by the Riddler, he was the one who figured it out. But when they got to the bomb scene, I actually thought they were going to kill him off because of how little screen time he got. So this would have been the end of the trilogy of Andy Serkis' characters getting killed off. First, it was Last Jedi, then Black Panther, and now this movie. But I guess this was the one movie where Andy Serkis was allowed to live. And his final scene with Bruce was really well done. You can feel the emotion coming from his voice and Robert's facial acting. It was really good, but I just wish we got a tiny bit more out of Andy Serkis. But at the very least, we'll get more movies with him. The only other issue I do have is do not watch this at nighttime, because if you're someone who watches movies in one sitting, I'd recommend watching this at the middle of the day so you don't feel worn out. Also, I do feel like since the established social media exists and the Riddler who was publicly filming, wouldn't the GCPD be able to track his phone? And also, I call BS. There is no way in hell they didn't unmask Batman before he woke up. Before we wrap up today's review, let's talk about the Joker scene. Now, I know this was a deleted scene, but I think it is something I should bring up, since originally, Joker being at the end of the movie annoyed me, since while I do love Joker, I feel kind of burnt out of him, you know? Because we're getting a Joker 2, which I think is pointless, and I really wanted to see other villains who haven't appeared in a live-action movie before, like Mad Hatter or Professor Pig, but Matt Reeves stated that this isn't a tease, just a way of showing us the Joker exists in this world and that Batman already captured him, with Joker bringing up how this is their 1-year anniversary. I can understand why removing this scene. It would take away from the Riddler, but I do like how his hair looks all burned. I also thought the actor did a good job bouncing off of Pattinson, and it feels like something that the Joker would say. Also, how some lines were reused in the Riddler interrogation scene.
He's a nobody. Wants to be somebody.
Attention.
You're gonna die. No. A nobody.
Overall, I do think The Batman is a great start to this new trilogy of Batman movies. I'm actually interested in seeing what's happening next. I don't know if this is my favorite Batman movie, even though I already watched it about 4 times as of now. But even so, originally I was hoping this would be a one-time thing, because with superhero stuff, part of me is tired of building up to future movies, but this genuinely made me hopeful for other installments in this trilogy. So overall, I love The Batman, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So hope you guys enjoyed today's review, and see you guys next time. Bye.